Hello everyone, welcome to Narain's Life with MS. This is Narain, and today it's time for what MS taught me. And I think what I'm going to talk about today is something that I might have talked about before, but at the end of the day, it is something that is pretty important, and I do hope that you resonate with this messaging, especially if you are someone who does have MS or has any autoimmune condition like MS, which actually does impact, your movement, your walking, um, your thinking, anything in between, really. And that is, of course, this whole idea of being a little on the competitive side. So, at least growing up, I was always sort of under the impression that, I was competing against each and every single person. So, a lot of times I had to pretty much make sure that, you know, at least one way or another, be it either through strength, through flexibility, through brain power, through something, I had to be one of the smarter people in the room. And sure that started off pretty early. I was pretty, I'd say, book smart back then. I was very much into reading, but I'd say it was even maybe before I was diagnosed with MS that I started losing that sort of streak of trying to be the best at whatever it was. And it pretty much hit me very hard when I was diagnosed with MS, because suddenly it kind of loomed, this idea of not everything being the same kind of loomed in front of me. And the fact that while I could improve, while I could be better, chances were that wasn't going to stay the same for a very long time. And as a result, that also put me in a little bit of a in a depressive mood, right? I wasn't very happy with the fact that very soon I would be in a place, or at least I would be somewhere where I would not be able to compete with the best of the best, because I was much further behind, lagging much further behind. And it was pretty much because my body was not able to catch up, right? And and sure, at this point in time I would say something like your competition, regardless of whether or not you have an autoimmune condition or anything else that might have been life altering, that your competition is only against yourself. I do not want to say that. I actually want to go more towards the fact that even a statement like that, when you have to make it to yourself, it does hurt, right? It's not very easy to aim to live life normally in any way. You can be as close to normal as possible, but you have to realize that at one point it's going to be pretty much futile to compare yourself with others, even if you've lived your life like that. And the biggest reason for that is not because your body is faltering or your body is not being able to keep up, right? I mean, definitely a lot of people might think that that is one of the cases, but more than that, it's because you have to realize that at one point in time you have to throw in the towel. The competition has to stop, and at one point in time, especially the most important point in time, is that whomever you are competing against, whomever you are trying to outdo, is better a friend than a foe, right? Rather than having them as a rival, it is much better to have them as a friend, a supporter, because they are pretty much, they might still feel that they are in this competition, they are in the contest, they are in the race, and they have to win. But at the end of the day, when you can actually share with them the information that really collaborating will get you a lot further in life, and that is both of you together, that is when you really actually understand that while the competition is going to be there all around you, it does end up becoming one of our choices, or your choice, essentially, to say that you're not going to let the pressure of said competition actually affect you, and really you're going to approach this entire competition, you're going to approach the entire scenario more as a way to work with someone to achieve that goal, which really, while it might seem very personal to everyone, is actually something that everyone is looking for, right? Be it being healthier, be it making more money, being more successful in life, being smarter, being more intelligent, being more book smart, all of these things, while yes, they are personal goals, they work a lot better when you actually do share it with someone, and when you actually collaborate towards it, right? Being, let's say, if we just go on something as simple as being book smart, and you tell yourself, or you make a goal of, let's say, reading 100 books in a year, you can actually achieve that goal in a much easier fashion if you share this goal with maybe another person, at least one person, so that you only have it's only on you to buy 50 books while the other person buys the other 50, and then you can switch these books so that both of you can read it together, right? That's a very easy way to look at it, right? If your goal is to, let's say, scale Mount Everest, it's much easier to have someone else who can collaborate with you, who can actually help you reach the summit faster. And the whole point of this entire life we live in is not really a race that we are running together and that we are running alone, but more so finding ways to bring a network together so that we can all achieve the goal with a lot less required from ourselves alone. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you did resonate with this idea, and then you can definitely share your thoughts, your insights, your experiences as to when this idea of collaboration really helped you towards that common goal. And of course, with that said, please do give your comments in so that we can get the conversation started. But with that said, this is Naren Saivtamas. I am Naren, and here's wishing you a very, very good night, sweet dreams, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.